Hello, Happy New Year to all my subscribers out there at YouTube land. How you doing? I'm JP Moss, author, researcher, experiencer. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. We'll be returning to the forest very soon. Going to be collecting some more research and data from out there in that extraordinary location. The UFO field is taking a beating lately. We seem to be having people like Corey Good showing up, which his claims borderline on go way off the deep end. And then we have these so-called debunkers showing up with their YouTube channels and immediately come across as, we're here to, debunk the whole thing or whatever. I don't know. The whole thing is really just it's getting out of hand. There are a lot of people right now who have absolutely gone to war with the UFO subject in general. Linda Moulton Howe has released videos claiming that all alien contact, all UFOs is just bad. Kim Carlsberg on Facebook was running around saying she was in a Facebook group and it's all bad. She said that there's people in there saying that there are good experiences, and then she says, nope, it's all evil. All alien abduction phenomena is just evil. Dr. David Jacobs has come out from retirement, and he's been posting about the wicked, the evil of UFOs. I don't know, the whole thing, I assume that my following and the people that watch these videos are people in this subject area. If the video's being watched by people who really don't follow the idea that there is such a thing as alien abductions, then I'm not speaking to you. I'm not talking to you. There are a lot of people who feel or have these memories. They say that come back to them and have said that this has happened. This has happened to them, and that they've had these experiences, but they're not all bad experiences. I say the word experiences because they, like myself, will say to you, we can distinguish between experience from a dream. I walked down the street, I saw a car pass, I saw a guy on the corner of the road, a mailman over there, I saw a fire engine go by, and there was a fire. They put a fire out. I went to the store, bought some bread, came home. This is an experience. A dream, you lay in bed, you get convoluted of different things come through your head. You wake up, maybe remembering some of it you don't. It may be very intense, but very, very strange. You may literally dream that someone you know died, or that you got kicked out of your house, and it may seem very real, and it may not make any sense because the house itself looks back to front, or a cat got run over by a car but didn't. You wake up and none of these things happen, and it's not connected to something else. It's just kind of bits of this, bits of this, bits of this, bits of that. That's a dream. Then people talk about the lucid dream experience. It's lucid. It seemed real. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It goes in line with that so-called false memory syndrome crap that was alleged to exist, but doesn't. Someone said to me that, well, false memory syndrome is I don't know, if you do the research, do the homework. False memory syndrome was founded, the research of this was founded by people that work for the CIA. I mean, there's all kinds of evidence to support that the whole lucid dream phenomena and false memory syndrome phenomena. Both of these are kind of ways of trying to cover up actual things happening to people and events they can remember. It's not difficult to get amnesia and forget something. It happens all the time. There's a TV show here in England, a reality show, where married couples were brought on the show, and they were hypnotized out of remembering the partners, their married partners. And what happened was, then they were told, they were put back out in the public, and will they find each other attractive again? It was a rather interesting point, that you could actually hypnotize people out of remembering each other. And I've just noticed that there has been a lot of attack going on with the UFO world, UFO communities, and people involved in it. There's been a huge rise in these so-called debunker channels. People showing up saying, this, that, and the other. And then there's a huge rise in people like Corey Goode, who claims to be talking to thousands of alien races and hanging out with thousands of different beings and has the knowledge of the universe in his brain and hangs out with avian bird people. He was invited to UFO conferences, and there was a UFO conference recently where Corey Goode and Richard Dolan, an acclaimed researcher, was put up there on the stage together, and Corey was spouting out everything of his so-called experience, and he stretches the word experience beyond belief. It's one thing to say, I'm an experiencer, and I've had my memories resurface of having contact with a being, a girl, identifying herself to me as Beniko. And in 8 years, this is all I've ever talked about, is that one experience in contact with her. And I went out to get evidence of this. Richard Dolan made a good point. He said, I just ask anyone that makes these claims about any contact, can you provide some evidence, something? So I went out of my way to do just that. And I took off, and I got infrared pictures and color photos as well in the forests where UFO sightings have been taking place within my neighborhood. My photos were quickly shouted at. You can call someone a fake all you want. That doesn't debunk anything. It just shows what lack of intelligence people have. I've been playing around with electronics since the 1980s, and one of the first things I bought from a Radio Shack back in the early 80s was an infrared burglar alarm, just because I was interested in electronics. And it was two boxes, both 9-volt battery operated. One was a transmitter, one was a receiver. All it consisted of was a box with an LED light, a light emitting diode, a 9-volt battery, and a small circuit board in it that transmitted infrared light to another box, which was a receiver. The receiver had a CDS photocell, small circuit board with a 9-volt battery. And you put the two boxes like this, and if anything passed between the two of them, the alarm would go off. The technology is so basic, and infrared technology has been around for more than 40 years. It's been around a long, long time. Even in common TV remotes like this one, which is right now transmitting infrared light, you don't see this because this is a color digital video camera. But if you download certain infrared apps, I'm not saying all are genuine, but the only way to know which is genuine, which isn't, is take any TV remote anywhere. I've got several laying around here, and you hold it up to your camera, and if you can see the light shining when you press the button, ordinarily you don't see it with the naked eye, then you have an infrared filter, an infrared detector. And so it's very simple. But we live in an age of computer geniuses that seem to lack any intelligence in electronics. Now, someone said to me, well, I deal with infrared. I've never seen those filter colors before. Well, okay, that's the app. Because you can get color infrared on certain apps. So you can see infrared with the color right there in front of you. And recent developments are quite advanced. As in my last video, you can now do infrared video, which is very interesting. But it's a little time consuming. I don't mind doing it. At some point I may do it. It's a little time consuming. Debunk the debunkers. Go back at them and say, well, look, I can take another tablet out to the field with this tablet, both infrared apps running, one color, one infrared, do a test in the field, hold up, the remote that's transmitting infrared light. All the apps do is that they change the frequency of the CDS cell into detecting light not seen by the human eye, or infrared in the infrared spectrum. It's very simple. What I would right away debunk would be the apps that claim to be seeing thermal. There's a difference between thermal vision and infrared. Infrared is a very easy, basic technology. It's been around for over 40 years. I'm 46. It's almost been around as long as I've been alive. This is not a technology that is brand new. Televisions have been using this technology way, way back in time. And it's a relatively basic technology. Now, what is coming up in the videos and the photos, the only thing I can say about that is that it has a consistency to the likeness and appearance to what's been seen before in other pictures and videos. I mean, obviously these are not, if you follow this, hybrid alien-looking boys and girls running around with hair and Bashar. If you follow the alien Bashar that Daralenka channels, if you follow any of that, then, or Anna Bagayan's artwork, where she's, drawn these human hybrid alien children, very cute looking, by the way. They're all very lovely looking. Now, what's coming up in my photos is these gangly, lanky looking mantid creatures. But yet I come back and my focus is back on the discussion and the contact, and I'll share the psychic side of things, and that's very subjective material. So, okay, you don't have to believe any of that, but I'll share it anyways. Even if I get shouted at, well, where's your evidence? Well, you go to church, give me evidence of an angel right away. Let me see your angels. Hold up your hands. Show me your angels. Benico's not a faith and a belief system. This is a being that I've managed to document in some photos, video, and electronic voice phenomena recordings and spirit box recordings. She's not dead either. Now, that's a bit difficult for people to swallow. Why is she coming up like that? Well, another thing you got to stop thinking about is aliens from other planets that land here and are physically corporeal beings. There are other dimensions that exist around us, and they're just as solid and corporeal in those dimensions as we are in this one. And that's quoting some CERN scientists, some physicists, and other people, lots of other physicists who've gone on and said, this is a possibility, yada yada. This could be out there, and here's why we think so, yada yada. I'm one of those people on the front line in the field work that has managed to corroborate such theories to the existence of interdimensional life. Benico being someone of that other reality. Well, that pretty much covers that in this little video. I just had the urge. I was gonna waffle on a bit, but I was like, well, no, let's just put this out there. We're now about a week and a bit into January 2019. So I thought I'd put this out there just to say hi, touch base with everybody. Um, that's pretty much it. I've been asked to do some live videos, and I might try to get out in the field and do some live videos, get some videos done out there. Just understand that a lot of the hate comments, the anger, the rage, and FBI research was done into internet activity and people who attack others online and Facebook and YouTube accounts. Profilers in the FBI spend their life analyzing people's behavior. And there is such a thing as a baseline personality for all humankind. Everybody's going to react the same way to good news, to bad news. That's called baseline personality. You're happy at Christmas, you're sad at a funeral, this kind of thing. The general public, as a general rule, believe it or not, don't attack what they don't understand online. They tend to be very quiet. They don't even bother putting a thumbs down. So a lot of us who are being attacked online based on an FBI report aren't general public. I don't know who they are. Without going off the deep end and claiming they're CIA or agents in the government, you know, you've got a lot of religious groups out there. I could name a bunch that would have an issue with the UFO stuff, Benico, all that. And in 2019, there seems to be a campaign running, I've noticed online everywhere, of people running to absolutely crush this into the dirt and shut it up as we enter the 2020s. Now, there's an interesting point about that. There were leaked information from sources that indicated in the year 2027 there's alleged to be a full-blown alien disclosure contact on Earth in front of all of the human race. This information has come to me through sources near and far, including spirit box sessions with Benico and all the rest. Corey Good alleges there's some kind of alien war coming. And everyone says, don't listen to that, there's no alien war anywhere. Well, I agree that I don't think he's right about an alien war on the horizon. I have said in many instances, and online and here and there in interviews, there's already been a war ongoing. It's been running for a long time. Many centuries. This has been running here on this planet. The human race is caught in the crossfire of it. This is not it's coming. This is, it's already here. It could be that 2027 is a crescendo, a period at which it's a finale. Now, I'm not religious about this. This is not, it doesn't have to be a spiritual issue. I really have, I have really taken an issue with this. The only one I really follow that defines the difference between a developed, spiritually advanced civilization like Benico's race or Bashar's race, and what's going on with the human race here, right here, with their spiritual issues and underdeveloped spirituality and their, how they talk. I would say that Bashar, channeled by Daralenka, pretty much gets it right. That spiritism and spirituality is not a faith or a belief system and should never be seen as such. It is simply a form of advanced science, energetic science, and quantum mechanics. It is a matter of fact, not a matter of faith or opinion, and should be regarded as such. I've always said this. If I have any spiritual, connection, whatever I talk about, whatever I feel that Benico's taught me or given me, or I feel that I've shared, I'm doing so sparingly because I noticed that over the years, over 8 years, I got thrown into the spiritual groups on Facebook. I got yoked in the middle of it. I got caught right dead center. And there was a Brenda Astorino in a private group on Facebook called Passport to the Cosmos. And I got heavily gaslighted and attacked by her when I said that I'm not promoting spirituality. And she was like, you, Jason Moss, saying that? So you're saying you're spiritual but not spiritual. And I'm like, what do you mean? She says, well, you're saying, well, which is it? You're two things. I said, look, stop gaslighting me. That's an old CIA trick, okay? Stop gaslighting me. That old psychological gaslighting crap. I said, it doesn't work on me. I've seen it a million times. I know it's the oldest ploy in the book. I just played right along with it. I said, well, whatever, Brenda. Benico and them talk about a science mixed with energetic quantum physics and their knowledge, not a belief system, but knowledge of the truth about dimensions above us and below us, and the interconnectedness between consciousness and mind as it intertwines to these realities. And they can back it up with their technological advancement of the existence of these things where the human race cannot. So there's a distinction, big one. Bashar and them don't have, because Benico's of the same race as Bashar, they don't have to have a belief about it. Humankind has a spirituality, which is a faith-based idealism about unity, oneness, a vague idea of what that means and where it goes into ascension, a very vague idea of ascension, an extremely limited understanding of a lot of things, and the afterlife, and there's a heaven and hell. There's no heaven, there's no hell. There are realities of frequencies higher and lower that are there, and a collective of human consciousness may exist in a higher frequency reality in which humankind may perceive this as a heaven, but there isn't a specific location. If you pray enough, you'll go there. And a hell exists only in the same manifestation, but in a lower frequency. In a lower frequency with lower entities, they feed more on, they have less to feed on. So they're like parasites. They feed on human soul consciousness that have descended into lower frequency because of the lack of whatever it was that lowered their frequency. Could be a lack of knowledge, ignorance usually is the case. Now that's given to me only by Benico. That stuff, she told me years ago, even recently. This is not for you to believe, and even for me, I could even say the same thing. Well, I don't have to believe that. I'll be Catholic, Benico. I'll die Catholic. I don't have to believe any of that, we love each other. There's a connection, but that doesn't mean that, with every word spoken, hey, let me see your instrumentation and your technology that proves this. Well, take me into those realities. Let's have a look around. Well, shall we? Ascension can be done in several ways, and it simply means to leave another dimensional plane, move to a higher one. And a conscious ascension is simply moving that consciousness awareness to a higher awareness. So a two-dimensional person that's very flat in a flatlander reality becomes aware of the third dimension by reason of the fact they're aware of that extra space of the third dimension, something called up, that they don't understand in the second dimension. It's called up. They've ascended. That's simple. Ascension isn't some lengthy, I've got books here. We've all got books. We all have them. We've all got these books. A lot of us have read these books. Soul DNA, the Ultimate Edition, Jennifer O'Neill, and it's, oh God, it's lengthy. But the best book for ascension would be a quantum mechanics, mathematics book. Experiments in Four Dimensions by Dr. Ian Innie. But that's a math book. That's all it is. It's a math book. It's not going to cover spirituality. It's not going to cover anything else. It's mathematics. It's knowledge that ascends you. It's not your faith. It's your awareness. It's what you know. And what you don't know in your ignorance is what's going to descend you. in your death, when you leave your bodies. So, you know, you can have your faith. You can do what you want. Many have died and come back and said they saw their dogs and cats, canaries. There are dog and cat ghost photos and videos after the animal died. There have been many instances of this. So how are they doing this? When they don't believe in Jesus or Allah or something? How do they? They didn't go to church every Sunday. How do they know this? Well, because it's a fact. It's a quantum mechanics fact. They exist. Consciousness exists. I'm not saying that religion's wrong. I think it's a human civilization, as I've been told, is on a developmental course. Everyone on this planet is going through a development as a civilization. I think people like myself are coming too early, to be honest. We're coming a bit too early. I commented on one of my YouTube channels. Someone commented something, and I had people immediately just get rid of me. Like, fuck, get out of here. Fuck them. But I'm being honest. I don't own the entities in my photos. Someone said to me, well, great photo. Well, it's not mine. I don't own them. In the beginning, yeah, I did keep it pretty quiet. The entities that came at my photos, it was rather unnerving. Okay. Should you expect any other kind of response from me? You know, who do you think I am? I mean, like anybody, you know, I've had my experiences. I know what I know, but I'm still a person. I'm still me. I have feelings. Yes, on my own in that forest, I found it rather unnerving that when I got back to my house and looked at my photos, I saw entities in there that resemble what, you know, people from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base have described and alien abductees have described seeing, even what I remember. I mean, they were right there. What I found rather unsettling was they were just within a meter away from me when I took the photo. Now, for some reason or another, online, I am forbidden from expressing those feelings. For some reason, I get my butt kicked and beat up if I don't act like people like Corey Good and go, Zen Japakachaka, Zen Jakaya. I have no fear. Listen, I had to change a few pairs of underwear after seeing those photos. I admit it. But I wasn't afraid, like, oh, I'm fearing that from them. I get asked the very specifics. And I'm like, well, look, if I can't sit down and concretely prove it to people that listen to me, I don't like to talk about it because people I don't want to get esoteric, very subjective, and something gray matter. I want to be very, very clear about that. How do you know that your feelings weren't feelings of dread from the beings in the photos? And you don't have to take my word for it, but I know it was not coming from them. Of course it wasn't. Because I went back out to those forests for 3 more years, over 200 more visits, hundreds of more photos of the same entities. And if it was really them, well, I would have felt that. I know I would have felt that, and I wouldn't have gone back. But for some reason, I don't know why, but, you know, in the beginning, I was trying to tell myself, right at the very beginning, first couple of times I went to the forest and I got these images, my son was with me, and we went back to the house. And when he saw me take the photos, he knew that nothing was in my equipment beforehand. He knew that because it was in fact his tablet. And he helped me set up a proper infrared app that was genuine. We tested it with the TV remote, make sure you can see the LED light. And so he knew this was genuine as hell. We're walking into a forest. People have seen UFOs, activity in that local area. And so, you know, I got these pictures, got back to the house, uploaded straight into my system. He saw me do that. And immediately saw what was right there in front of me. And he knew he was only a few meters on the other side of this entity. We had a bit of a falling out after that. You know, he was quite shaken by this, and I don't know why he's getting mad at me, but I was like, look, I didn't put him there. You don't have to come out with me. I am not going to be, you know, this is like, what is this, the Spanish, the British Inquisition, the English Inquisition, the Catholic Inquisition, Elizabeth I. I'm a Catholic. I'm being tortured, disemboweled, you know, have my private area hacked off in front of me and burned, and then be my disemboweled in front of a crowd of people while tied down. Oh! And then have my head cut off and stuck on a pole over the London Bridge. What's the matter with you? No, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting at my kid. There's a lot of people that acted that way, and I'm like, I didn't put that there. They're there. What is the okay, yeah, there seems to be that right there. Yeah, there's a yeah, I want to touch on that if I can. There's a need to, I don't know. Trying to put that into words. People don't want to talk about that. Yeah, you can't talk about that. And I'm talking about star seeds. People who've I've even had them where growing up my whole life had memories of being something else other than a human. Oh boy. And there were a lot of unknowns that showed up out of the internet world and went straight to war with people like me for years until the lady that ran the website, starseeds.net, was forced to take the website down. Then we went to war with them. Researchers like myself have found evidence, National Security Agency documents, leaked documents that said, yeah, the CIA have been ordered to destroy and annihilate anyone that claims a past life experience as being an alien. Well, that's interesting. You know, this book here, Gloria Chadwick, if you can check it out, Reincarnation and Your Past Life Memories. A very good read. I would suggest you read if you can. Rather than promoting my books today, these are very gifted authors, very good stuff. You know, you don't have to be human in every past life. There's no written rule anywhere that says this. It doesn't say you have to be a human being. And if you just simply can't accept the fact that other things out there exist that are intelligent like a human, you really got psychological issues, I've got to tell you. You need help. Because that's going to be a dead point to bring up to someone right there. That's where that's going to stop. The conversation stops. If you simply just can't accept that out there in the galaxy and other dimensions there are intelligent beings that exist currently right now alongside the human race's development, right now, present time, in this galaxy, that are as intelligent or more intelligent than you, and you really have some issue with this, and you're really just dead set at war with this subject matter, you need help, my friend. You need to seek professional help. You say, some people say, you need help, you need help. I'm saying to you, my mind is broader than yours. Okay, Galileo ran around and he said the Earth is not the sun. You know, he starts pointing out the stars. He was an astronomer. He was treated like a heretic. Everyone hated him. The Earth is the center of all creation, they told him. Even his own daughter, Maria, took off and changed her name to Maria Celeste, and she became a nun. She changed her last name from her father's name. Now, some have argued historically she did that in protest of her father. Some said she used the name Celeste because in honor of her father. I don't know. I've heard historians go two ways on that. There's a lot of history to suggest his daughter, who became a nun, that in itself was her way of saying, Dad, I defy you. You're against the church. and at the time he was seen as against the church. And when all these labelings and scathing attacks hit him, she's a nun. She goes off and joins a convent. I don't know. You decide for yourself what Maria was doing. But she was very much against what he was talking about, according to a lot of research. So, I mean, look. Back in the day, 500 years ago, it was seen as heresy to say the earth is not the center of all creation. Today, it seems heresy to say the human race is not the only sentient, intelligent life in existence right now. And it seems even more heresy to suggest that any of us have had any knowledge, contact, and evidence of this existence, or that it's even here on earth. It seems to be the biggest insane heresy of all. God forbid you say that. You know, that too. It seems even more heresy and to say that any of us might have been them in a past life. I mean, you may accept reincarnation. You may accept that it's from human to human or animal to human. But to say that, to really absolutely say the earth just simply, that there's just nothing else out there, is to really take the earth out of its own solar system, away from all the rest of the galaxy and everything else, and just stick it in its own little sphere of life and say, that is it, is freaky and frightening. It's scary. It's like the flatlanders. People say the earth is flat. It's a very freaky thing to say. Because nothing's further from the truth. Carl Sagan would say that. You're all part of the cosmos. Someone will say, I don't know, where did he say that? Well, it's not a misquote. He often tried to point out the fact that we are all stardust and a part of the cosmos. We're all a part of it. We seem to look out from the eyes, look into the space, and it seems to be that this is separate from all that. And in fact, it's all a part of it. The connection the Mantids have. Now, what I can do, I can take this in another direction from now on and not be so stringent and gray matter, black and white about it as I've been in the past, is start to sound a bit like Corey Good. But don't worry, folks, I'm not going to go off claiming I have all the answers and I have contact with millions of races and they talk to me. Aside from Benico and Bashar, I don't talk to Bashar. That's channeled by Daralenka. This is very, very personal, and the energetic connection is a fingerprint between one to the next. People have said to me, would you be open to having other people channel Benico? And I said to them, well, that's like saying, would I be open to having someone else put their finger on an ink blot and get a fingerprint that looks like my fingerprint? She comes through me, or we have this connection, and she'll talk through these spirit medium devices, boxes, and I've recorded her talking. And I've done this in front of people. I've even had people bring in their own spirit box apps or whatnot. They've brought in front of me and held up to me and said, here. And she's come through on their own devices. But not on their own. They go off alone and do this. Again, that goes back to a quantum signature fingerprint, that we have the same connected soul. We have a very deep energetic connection, as Bashar and Daralenka has with each other. Again, that goes back to this very advanced quantum mechanical spiritual awareness and understanding of a higher dimension that they have. The human race lacks an understanding. And so it would be difficult for people to understand that. I think that's my video. What is it, 39 minutes? I think that's it. Nothing else to report. We're in 2019. Touch wood, hoping to get live videos, hoping to get back on that, hoping to get back out to the forest. Going to be doing all this wonderful stuff and research. And that's pretty much it. So, I mean, I guess one more thing. I've been asked this question. It's been raised a lot in argument. Why would we want to believe you, Jason? You go public and write books. Real people are the ones that keep those experiences to themselves. First of all, that's a mythology created by intelligence operatives. That's a lot of crock of crap right there. Okay, so why would you want to buy this book by Gloria Chadwick, Reincarnation, Your Past Life Memories? Why? You know, why would you want to read that? Gloria, come on. Are you saying you've had a past life experience? I mean, she's sharing an insightful knowledge in a subject matter that does derive itself from the Tibetan monks, the Buddhists. It is extremely insightful, and our own experience is being shared on that subject matter, which is like a colorful kaleidoscope of different colors. It's a very interesting, insightful book. Why would you want to buy a manual on how to build motorcycles from this guy opposed from that guy? Well, maybe somebody's got a different understanding about the way things work with cycle engines. Maybe this one has a little more in-depth understanding, or a way of or perhaps something that they've learned, or maybe a little more experience that they can add to this. I think everything we can add to the body of knowledge, or the collective knowledge of the human race, is a wonderful thing. And every author who goes out to put a book out should be praised, not condemned. Whether you want to buy the book or not. The books act as a hard copy you can hold in your hands of, they are compendiums to the videos I create and who I am. Whether you want to believe what you're reading or not is your business. That if you want to believe it, you believe it. You have your own experiences. You can either take your experiences and learn, put something with that, and say, that's interesting. We are the educators. We are the teachers. We're the ones. We're the professors. That's what you might think me as a bit of a professor of the esoteric world, of the world of the unseen. Nothing I've ever talked about is ever fantasy or fiction. It's not. Benico's a real person. This is not. I've never hoaxed anything. There's nothing being, unreal or put out there in some way, in some sense. It's not like that. We are the educators. The answer to that question would be, good question. And you don't have to read any textbooks in college either, do you? No, just put them down. Take your textbooks in your colleges and throw them out the door. Hey, are you in high school? Why are you reading those books? Well, these are from authoritative. Are they? Then you're not really an academic scholar if you say that book you're reading from school and college is authoritative, when you can't sit down and cross-reference and check the material within the book. Or perhaps it's a book about experiences or research. Were you able to sit down and say, that broadened my understanding of some area of experience that I've had in my life by reading J.P. Moss's book, and I'm glad for him sharing with me. I take that book, it not just sits in my house, I've had people tell me, your book sits in my bedroom on a shelf. And I know that if I have these experiences, I can look back and think, you may not be a well-known author. I'm just glad that you didn't just go out and make a Facebook page and a YouTube video. You sat down and wrote a book. And some people have praised me up and said, that shows integrity. That shows how real you are. So you can look at it two ways, but if you look at it from the mythology is that people that write books and talk about UFOs and go public are just liars trying to make money. I don't think, I've never met Richard Dolan. I've seen his videos on YouTube. He probably would not like me, I would imagine. But I do make an effort to go out and get the evidence to back up what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't. And I don't expect everyone to do that. I do this for everybody, so that the evidence, he says we need evidence in this field. Well, I'm out to do that. Take a look down my videos, and you're going to find, you know, I'm talking about experiences. Now, I know from my own truth, I've had psychic phenomena experiences I've proven to other people and myself to be genuine. So when I've talked about, some of these videos may sound about outlandish, but then the reason I stopped doing those videos was because people were saying, you're a crazy, outlandish nut. Other people praised it up, and I says, well, look, it seemed to be missing the point. I didn't stop making the videos because I was attacked. I stopped making the videos because I needed to focus on another area of research, and this is what I'm doing. So my field research has been promoted more than anything. But the psychic side of it, the psychic connection experience of it, is valid and important and shouldn't be overlooked. Many police departments and agencies employ psychics quietly. In fact, it has been declassified through the Central Intelligence Agency's official page. Through the Freedom of Information, there are thousands of declassified documents where they've used psychics, trained people up to be psychic, spy on the Russians, things like this. And along the way, they stumbled across interdimensional alien life and began making contact with them. And there are many, many ways. Look, the video, I haven't got to put hours on this. There are many ways to validate that that's an entity you're talking to through a psychic connection. I don't have to make audio recordings of Beniko or videos of Beniko to prove to me she's anything. I know that she is real. I do this because I care very much about all of you. I do care about you. And I care very much about the field of ufology, and I care about, you know, people like David Chase, Richard Dolan, and the others. I don't know these. I know David Chase from Facebook, but I care about a lot of these people. I care about Kim Carlsberg. There are many people I don't know and I care about because I think they genuinely need, and the experiencers, something solid, something to validate experiences. Why? Well, I know of people who have been hugely ostracized by their communities and families and divorced and treated like crap because they had experiences that changed their lives forever but didn't know who to talk to. And they even began to doubt themselves and think they were crazy. When you can produce some hard evidence of something, even in a photograph, that backs up, like the entities in my photos back up what people have seen in their own experiences, that's worth its weight in gold for these people. You don't have to buy these books. You don't have to comment my video or even like or even subscribe. You can sit there and just see that and go, well, that's either true or fake. But there is some sense of relief to know when I saw this, there is at least a possibility this person says, you know, I'm not crazy. This thing may have happened to me. Well, then we're crossing a finish line there. We've made some progress. This is helping people. We're the professors, we're the educators. We're what you call the university professors. Lectures. These are lectures. Like I said, if you got college books or high school books, just put them down. Don't read them. Get rid of them. Why would you need to read them? Why are they valid? They're just out trying to make money too. So is your university. So is your college. They're taking all that money from you. Now they're robbing you of all that. Go on, yeah. What's the point? Let's just do this and not listen to anybody, or we can do like they did in the 1940s in Germany and just burn all the books out there and just say to heck with everything. And then murder all the authors and the poets. You know, I mean, look, we don't go down that road, please. You start that, it's you know, it's a mythology. Well, everyone that puts UFO books out there just hoaxers or trying to get attention or get in the media is a mythology. That's a myth. That's not true. There are many, many good people out there like myself. There are many good people, many sincere people working on this. Well, Happy New Year. This is my video. Thank you for watching and following, subscribing, all the rest, and see you very soon.